third degree. I'm new to the MGTOW movement or the MGTOW community, whatever you want to call it. Stumbled across the whole MGTOW thing, just looking into male-female relationship type material, just trying to get a better understanding of why women are the way they are and why men are the way they are. And through my search, I stumbled across, it took a couple of days, but eventually I stumbled across the MGTOW stuff. And it really, I really connected with it because for the past 2 years, I've been kind of leaning towards that whole going my own way thing. I've been involved in a relationship for about 2.5 years, and I really wasn't interested in being in a relationship for the past 2 years. In the past 2 years, I've only been sexually involved with 2 females, which is saying a lot about me as far as considering my background before the past 2 years. Only being with 2 females in the past 2 years is really saying a lot, because if you want to talk about a womanizer or a poonhound, you'll look no further than me. I mean, I've been with a lot of women. For me to get to the point where I was with one a year, it shows that I've really slowed down really changed my ways in that sense. And I think the main reason is because my last 2 serious relationships, my last one didn't end well at all. I think my girl from my last relationship had some serious issues as far as her past, and then me being, in that instance, being Captain Save-A-Hole, being the white knight, being, basically coming to her rescue, taking her under my wing, trying to make her life right, made my life worse. Trying to make her life better made my life a living hell. I mean, talking about a female that was suicidal, female that I basically had to grab her arm to keep her from stabbing herself. A female that I had to rush to the bathroom because I come upstairs and she has blood running down her arms. I mean, it was pretty bad. And that really turned me off from relationships. Like I said, that's my last one. That really turned me off from being involved. I had to take a step back and look at what I had to examine myself as far as why am I getting involved with somebody like that? What is my problem to where I found this kind of person attractive? Now, I didn't know all that beforehand, but I knew she had some issues as far as being in an abusive relationship beforehand, children being taken away. It was just she had a lot of baggage. You want to talk about baggage? I mean, we're talking about a U-Haul truck worth. But that's one thing. My relationship before that, I was involved with somebody I was deeply in love with. I felt like she loved me the same, if not more. I sacrificed a lot for her. She sacrificed a lot for me. But for some reason, it got to the point where things fell apart. It was kind of a long distance thing. She lived like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes away from me, but it wasn't that bad because I was really busy at that time. So, only seeing each other on the weekends worked out anyway. But, I mean, things we had a good 3 to 6 months. But really, the first 3 months were, really the best part. And then around the 6-month point and beyond that, I mean, it was an obvious change in attitude, change in passion, affection, on her part. I mean, I still felt the same about it. More in love with her. But things, like I said, things fell apart. And when things finally ended, you know the saying where my heart broke into 1,000 pieces. I mean, we talking about 1,000 pieces. My heart broke into 1,000 pieces, landed on the floor, and she stepped on it on her way out the door. I mean, that's how bad it felt. And I don't think I ever really healed from, my heart has never really recovered 100% from that. I probably had like a quarter of my heart left after that. And now it feels like what's left I put into this little glass cage, this little glass box, and has a lock on it, and I don't want nobody to get to it. So like I said, the past 2 years I've been doing my own way thing, but I didn't find out about the whole MGTOW thing until a couple weeks ago. This being 2015, this is like February 2015. So the middle of January 2015, I stumbled across the MGTOW stuff, and the philosophy, the ideas, I really connect with. Now, I'm not 100%. I'm not a great pill. I consider myself all purpose pill at this point, where I'm not necessarily seeking relationships, but I do still go out on dates. I still am involved with women, but I'm not involved in any relationships. I'm not interested in marriage. But it's rough. The thought of not having someone to share, it's not like I'm interested in relationships, but I like going out and being social with women. I like going out and spending time with women. I don't mind. I've been the type that mind spending money on female as far as dinner, going out to dinner, be paid for it. That never really bothered me. I mean, I don't buy gifts, but I don't mind going out to dinner. Social stuff. I don't mind doing social things with women. I'm not interested in buying them stuff. I'm not like that, but I'm still interested in the social aspect. I'm still interested in the intimacy of it. And that's something that I'm working on moving past, beyond, because really, that's really all I've known since I've been 16 years old. The whole intimacy aspect of women is really all I've known in a big way. I mean, I'm really the stereotypical gigolo. I have very few girlfriends, but a lot of women. Very few relationships, but a lot of sexual contact with women I've had. So, getting beyond that, giving up the whole idea of not having someone to talk to, not having someone to spend the night with. And it don't necessarily have to be sexual, but just to spend some time with. It's always been the independent loner type. I enjoy being by myself because it allows me to do what I like to do. Since I'm interested in a lot of different things, have a lot of different hobbies, keep myself busy isn't a problem. But when I do have some downtime, I don't mind spending that time with an attractive woman. out there like, that feel the way I feel, where giving up on the, passing, women are like some women are like I guess I heard the analogy where it's like a carrot on a stick, or the worm on the hook, or the shiny lure on the fishing line. It just looks so tasty and hard to ignore. And I guess you have to work on you got to get in the habit of not paying that stuff any mind, not paying attention to that, to understand what you may be getting involved in. Because just like the shiny lure on a fishing line, it's a trap. You go up to the worm, you go up to the lure, you bite down on it, and then you hooked, pulled out of the water, and you somebody's dinner for the night. So, yeah, sure, it's not 100% of the time where a man gets involved with a woman and his life gets destroyed, but it happens more often than it should. Where a man gets involved in a very attractive woman, things are going well, then things fall apart, and then his dreams, his goals, his desires, and sometimes even his finances are taken away from him. His life is destroyed, and he spends the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years trying to get back on his feet. Where if he would have stayed the course, he would be where he want to be already. Now, sure, some men do get involved with women that actually support their dreams and desires, but lots of times that is short-lived. Because one thing I learned about studying personal development and studying people and studying better understand how people work. People in the long term really only care about themselves. They really only care about what they can get out of any situation. What's in it for me is what's in the back of everybody's mind. Now, sure, people cry about, I gave up this for you, but really, what they gave up still was for the ultimate, what they gave up in the long term, but still was to benefit them. So they might say, I gave up pursue my career, or I gave up pursue my degree to help you do those things for yourself. But really, they gave up those things to help the other person get what they want to get, and in turn, so that they can get what they want to get. So nobody gives up what they want for somebody, so they won't have. They give up what they want for somebody, so they'll have something anyway. So nobody gives up something to have nothing. Somebody gives up something to get something in the long term. So this whole stuff, I gave up my life, I gave up my career, I gave up my pursue my degree or my business or having kids or whatever it was that they claimed they gave up for their relationship or this man or this woman, still was ultimately for them in the long term getting something out of the relationship. So this video really wasn't necessarily had a point. It's kind of my intro video to who I am, where I'm coming from, and what I might have to offer to the community. And hopefully in the long, things get better as time goes on. So that's all I gotta say for now. And I hope you'll subscribe and like this video, share it if you want. If you got something out of it, leave your comments below. This is Third Degree, signing out.